Welcome to the Skyforest Podcast, the story of a space freighter sent out on a routine mission. But that routine mission contained a few nasty surprises, or actually, several thousand of them. Our cast includes the voices of Lindsey Nelsen, Fabian Vasquez, Cecily Knobler, Dave Jeff and Gary Pirinelli, and Nate Leiper. Written, directed, and edited by Dave Pirinelli in Hollywood, California. If you enjoy the show, please leave us a 5-star review and ask your friends to come have a listen. Thanks for your support. In Episode 2, the team makes their way into the hauntingly abandoned Skyforest Base, where they discover a variety of mysteries. Can they locate the missing crews? What about the Skyforest 1? Why is it sitting dead at the dock instead of halfway back to Earth, as it should be? And where did all those people go? All this and more in Episode 2 of the Skyforest Podcast, coming up next. Let's join them. On board the Skyforest 3, the bridge crew are mystified by silence from the base ahead of them. Okay, get me the X-93 relay station. Maybe Skyforest Base reported technical issues before complete system failure. Communications Officer Williams confidently taps his panels. Lights flash. It looks good, but then the frown returns. Relay Base X-93, this is Skyforest 3. Relay Base X-93, this is Skyforest 3. Requesting status report for Skyforest Base, please. Hope fades quickly. No answer. Relay Base X-93, this is Skyforest 3. Please respond. Dismay spreads among the bridge crew. The relay base has gone silent too. We were just there. What the heck's going on? There's shock and confusion on the bridge of Skyforest 3. XO, get us to visual range on the base, pronto. We can image the geothermal station now, but the base itself won't be visible until we're inside the orbit. The dark side of the planet appears on the main view screen. At the very edge, a small building sits with a smattering of glowing lights. A few empty but lit windows, nothing to see. Looks normal. Not much really happens there, though. Williams? Already tried. The geothermal station is also silent. XO, show me the main base the second we're clear. The Skyforest 3's great bulk is dwarfed by the emptiness around them. The planet shows its dark side until they finally clear the edge. Visuals in 30 seconds, Captain. Williams. You'll be the first to know if I hear something, sir. Vosco taps nervously at his controls. Everyone's eyes are glued to the main view screen. They pass stunning rings of orbiting ice. Below Sky 3 is the lush green habitat enclosed in shimmering glass. The Skyforest 3 appears from the sea of darkness. It crosses to the inner orbit, a speck against the large brown planet. It's hard to tell that the ship is nearly a kilometer long. Visuals confirm. Base is intact. Prepare to land with or without an invite. Aero surfaces engaged and functional. Hold on. He jolts in his chair. Something is really wrong. Talladega checks a readout. Does a double take.
Skyforest 1's still here. It's still on the dock. It should be long gone.
What? They left months ago. They reported their departure before entering superluminal. They're expected on Earth in 14 months. And yet... Talladega shakes his head, sends the image to the large view screen. Indeed, the Skyforest 1 is still there, with various loading vehicles unmoved and unmoving. Shipping crates and containers litter the area. A candy wrapper blows around. Nothing else moves. Get me someone. Try the Skyforest 1. They must have had issues in return for repair. That's the only pad big enough for us to land on. Williams hits a variety of keys, shakes his head. Still no response from anyone, anywhere. There's something ominous in the deserted scenes on the view screens. All the people are missing. 70 crew on Skyforest 1 and nearly 400 on the base. Where is everyone? Talladega looks helplessly at the captain. Unknown, sir. Doc Alyssa, how long can we continue on stored O2?
72 hours.
Is Skyforest Base still pressurized?
Internal sensors report all good. No seal failures, a normal breathable atmosphere.
And yet it appears that nobody's breathing it. Talladega zooms in on Skyforest 1. Now the crew sees that the windows show no movement or people, just like the base. The only movement is blowing dust. Captain, I'm reading a few weak life signs, but nowhere near enough. We need to speak to Earth Control. Keep trying to reach X-93. I never stop trying. Talladega, get us as close as you can. Land on the surface near Sky 1. I'll get us in there. 6 astronauts walk across the barren surface to the landing pad. Despite the light-duty Evo suits, they cover the distance in slow motion. The permanent sunlight illuminates everything in sharp detail. Plenty of time to contemplate what might lie ahead. Vosco leads the team as they close in on the base. High above them, the glass dome reflects and radiates a green aura. Thousands of plants thriving in the generous light of Skyforest Base's star, Minerva 12. The comms in each helmet let them stay in touch, but for most of the walk, all they hear is each other breathing. Almost there.
Security Chief Bickel is right behind him, a large pulse rifle at the ready.
Copy that.
2 guards stay close to the captain. Corporal Miles Pallas and Private Sasha Riley march proudly behind him. They each carry a plasma rifle as well. As they approach the landing pad, they're dwarfed by the Skyforest 1 at dock. It looks just like Skyforest 3, but is covered with a thick layer of dust. It hasn't moved in a while. Doc Alyssa has a sealed lab cage with her. The rats inside sniff nervously.
Why didn't the autodock extend to Sky 3?
Somebody turned it off. At this point, we're better off not connecting anyway.
Why?
Something's wrong.
Could just be bad comms?
Bad comms? Look in those windows. There should be nearly 400 crew staring out at us. It's a tomb.
They both look up at the oddly empty windows of the station. Dust and grime have covered parts of them. It's deserted, devoid of life. Alyssa stops to check readings on her comm unit.
All of us are fine so far. Internal sensors report standard gases, temp, and pressure on the base.
As soon as we're in, open that cage up.
The animals have to be given an opportunity to reach baseline before we move to...
We don't have time for any of that. We need answers.
Of course, Captain. The first test animals will be exposed as soon as we're inside.
Perfect. Bickel smiles. His kind of captain. Bickel doesn't have much use for mealy-mouthed scientists. He's an action man. They reach the manual airlock. It entices them with green lights. They can see in the windows, but there's nothing going on inside. A few lights flicker, old bulbs perhaps. No people, but lots of dust. Wind sets some small debris whirling around them. The security team keeps rifles drawn. Captain Vosco has his ion pistol out. Talladega, we've reached the exterior loading dock. Nothing moving inside. Entering now. Copy that, Captain. Be careful. Yeah. He pulls his hand up and hits a green button to open the airlock. A whoosh as the port cycles. The door opens to reveal nothing out of order. Guns drawn, they cautiously enter the airlock. Captain Vosco gives the door seals a curious glance as he passes by. The airlock cycles them inside. The security team enters first, aggressively covering all possible doors and corners. But there's no opposition, no people, no monsters, no anything. Machines mindlessly running on autopilot.
Room clear. Moving ahead.
The security team advances. Doctor? Dr. Alyssa uses an atmosphere scanner, shakes her head.
Gas is all normal. No pathogens or noxious compounds detected. No decomposition gases.
No known pathogens.
Correct. The air is most likely breathable.
Captain Vosco spins to face his crew and gives a stern warning. Helmets stay on until I say otherwise.
We have 4 hours of oxygen left in these suits. After that, we asphyxiate. Do you understand? 4 hours.
Exactly. Rama, get the oxygen system ready to refill our ship. Flowing as soon as our tank is repaired. Barit said 2 hours. And every molecule goes through the purifier. Twice. Get on it. Bickel and I will have a look around. Rama walks to the cargo control systems. On it!
He holds a thumb up. Weakly. Vosco shakes his head in disgust. Definitely getting a new cargo guy when he returns to Earth.
Rama finds a terminal and pulls up the Skyforest 1's loading records as Captain Vosco and the other crew head further in. Rama shakes his head at the unprofessionalism. These entries are a mess. Rama waits until nobody's watching him. Then he flips open an old mechanical ASCII keyboard and starts typing. WTF? Question mark. A cursor blinks, then... Things got out of hand. Rama responds, no shit. Where's the... But right about then, a shadow moves across the floor. Rama stops, snaps the keyboard shut. He spins around when Bickel taps him on the shoulder. He can see Bickel's lips moving, and then he remembers and plugs his comms back in.
Since we lost you, I came to verify.
Oh, I'm good. I unplugged the headset by accident. Clumsy me.
All members of this team need to remain in contact at all times.
And I will from now on, I promise. You can, return to your patrol or whatever.
Nervous, Mr. Rama?
Well, could you at least goose step over that way? I've got work to do.
I remember you, don't I?
From orientation when the mission began?
From Earth, I arrested you for a narco offense.
Well, I'm not sure.
But your name wasn't Rama then, was it? Another Weasley name on the tip of my tongue.
500 people missing, and this is your plan? Were you a mall cop before? I did shoplift some bubblegum when I was 6. Arrest me, officer!
Oh, I'll be checking back real soon.
Rama catches Bickel's eyes doing recon on that old ASCII keyboard he just closed. Bickel's suspicious. Now he knows Rama has some secrets. Rama smiles on the outside, but thinks bad things inside.
Just down the hall from the cargo area is security.
Bickel sits down at a security console. He and Vosco access the numerous base cameras. There's some motion above them, but they don't notice. Anything out of the ordinary?
Oh, I found him. And yes, there is something out of the ordinary about Mr. Rama. I've got a feeling.
I know Rama's off. We'll be rid of him soon, one way or another. But I meant anything out of the ordinary on those cameras. Unseen, a small worm high above them crawls back into the cabinet it had just crawled out of. Did it leave a drop of blood?
Nobody home. And, no bodies.
They have to be somewhere.
We'll find them, but the cameras aren't going to help much.
Why not?
All cameras are on live loop only, not recording. No footage remains from anywhere.
Somebody's screwing around with us. Set them back to record and find the old feeds. Bickel checks the panel. Checks again.
Captain? There's no oxygen.
What?
The oxalith plants are producing, but the outer vents are open, fanning to the atmosphere.
Has anything been stored?
Nothing.
We need that oxygen. Close them.
Can't do it from here. Someone blocked the vents.
He taps the controls, sends an image to a large display. It shows the vent doors wedged open with metal beams and chairs.
How'd that happen?
Not an accident.
Vosco approaches the screen, looks carefully at the image. How do we get there? Bickel taps a variety of controls, nods.
Other side of the dome, at the roof junction. Yellow maintenance elevator is functional.
Rama bursts in. The oxygen's all gone. Someone vented it. Day late and 50 credits short, Rama. What did I miss? Vosco shakes his head. Rama's useless again. He looks at Bickel. Take Riley with you.
Let's purge the system with superheated steam, then start fresh with no biohazards.
Bickel taps more surface controls and walks to the window. Above them, a giant steel ball shimmers behind the glass domes. Suddenly, a cloud of steam blasts up from the ball, then quickly cools. Ice crystals form and fall back down toward the surface.
Look, it's snowing.
Captain Vosco winces, jerks his arm, knocks a rack over. Bang!
No, it is not snowing.
All present are stunned, unsure where that outburst came from. Bickel checks more data.
Generating enough oxygen to get back to Earth will require 3 to 4 weeks minimum, after we get the vents closed.
If we don't all disappear before then...
Despite the tense scene inside, outside the window the water vapor keeps falling as ice crystals. The starlight glints and shimmers through it. Beautiful. Some ice collects on the window ledge before evaporating away. Now we get a view into the distant past, a past only known by Captain Vosco. A thriving base on Jupiter's moon Europa, similar to Skyforest Base but with no glass dome full of plants. Fonts and logos are all different, older. A little boy who will later be known as Captain Piers Vosco holds his father's hand. Let's call him young Pearce for now. They're in the main control room. Commander Rick Vosco proudly walks his son past his staff. The cute little hat on Pierce's head says Captain Vosco.
Why do I have to go home?
Because your mother's waiting for you back on Earth, Pearce, my boy.
But I want to stay here, with you.
He pouts and stomps his feet. His dad is amused and torn at the same time. A staff woman approaches. Commander Vosco, your son's shuttle is arriving now. She points to some large viewing ports to their left. They walk toward them. I wish you could stay, son, but I've got work to do. And your mother and I, well, we have a deal. He stops to confer with another staff member.
A deal about me? For credits?
Rick and the staff member laugh. Of course not, Pearce. You'll understand when you're older.
I want to understand now. I don't want to go.
Outside the window, Europa Transport 1 comes into view. A space bus. There's your ship, Piercy. Monitor the landing for me while I talk to these people, okay? Log any anomalies. He leaves Pearce at the large view window and walks to look at some readouts. Pearce watches the ship moving in. Jets fire sporadically to guide it down. There's a crack, then a puff near him. He looks down. Vapor forms in the gap between the inner and outer panels of the viewing window. It freezes, then falls down inside between the panes. Sparkly ice crystals, like snow.
Daddy, Daddy, it's snowing!
Pearce points to the window. Rick and the others glance outside. Dust is kicking up while the transport lands. Oh, Pearce, that's just moon dust. It looks like snow, kind of. Pearce was the only one to have seen the odd behavior inside the window.
No, Daddy, it was snow, like in movies.
Rick's busy looking at displays again. He waves absently at the ship. Okay, Piercy, maybe it was snow. Get your bags, they're almost ready for you. Pearce looks down at the bottom of the window, at the thin layer of ice crystals. He points at the ice. Nobody pays any attention to the little boy. Nobody sees the ominous ice crystals forming. With a soft pop, the next window does the same odd thing. Pearce points again. Nobody's watching. They're too busy to hear the soft cracking sound. He gets his small bag as his father grabs a larger rolling one. They head for the airlock. Pearce is fastened in his seat in the transport, surrounded by other passengers. Rick Vosco waves to him from inside the base. The passengers watch the base sink below them as they begin the trip back to Earth. Suddenly, the windows on the base all shatter outwards silently. The air inside the base bursts out as clouds of vapor. The moisture quickly freezes and forms sparkly ice. Pretty in the starlight.
Look! More snow!
Gasps inside the transport. Everyone else understands this was a catastrophic breach. With the air all gone, it's doubtful anyone has survived in the base. Some passengers weep. Pearce is confused.
Wait, why is everybody crying?
Back in the present, on Skyforest Base, Vosco watches the artificial snow fall around them. Reliving the memory has been jarring and has left him profoundly affected. That, and finding out that someone has purposefully vented 40 billion liters of oxygen they desperately need. He touches his wrist comm. Williams, I need a secure private connection to my XO, Talladega. Sir? Now, encrypted. Nobody else on Sky 3 hears this. Thanks for listening to our tale of intrigue on the Skyforest podcast. Next time, the team suffers a terrible surprise loss while trying to close the oxygen vents. Vosco goes spelunking with Rama before they board the abandoned Skyforest 1, where they find some unexpected surprises. And they finally get a hint at who their true enemy is. But will they take the seemingly harmless foe seriously, or will they all vanish like the previous crews? Next time on Episode 3 of the Skyforest podcast. Thanks for listening.